Okay, take two of this video. Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about Oshi no Ko. So, Oshi no Ko, brand new anime, it just wrapped up on Wednesday, I believe, and I wanted to talk about whether or not it lives up to the hype that it's been getting, because I've seen ever since episode 1 released weeks ago, I've been seeing just all this stuff about how it may be the greatest anime of all time, and I waited until it was done airing before I watched it because I don't like the way I thought that if it really was as good as what people were hyping it up to be, I wanted to watch it in full. I didn't want to have to wait a whole week to watch the next episode, so I waited till it was done. I finished it today. I started watching it yesterday, finished it today, so it's fresh in my mind, ready to talk about it. The rating on my anime list, here's the rating. Currently, this is the current rating. I believe it was higher originally. I think it was a 9.3 when the first episode dropped. It's still being received very well. I don't know why people were already rating it from episode 1 though, but it's still received very well, but it did drop a little bit. So I'm gonna talk about it doesn't necessarily matter. So I'm gonna do just a really short as minor spoilers, not completely spoiler free, minor spoilers for the first episode, and then I'm gonna not hit major spoilers through just a minor spoiler summary of the whole first season. Okay, so there's an idol, the 16-year-old idol. Her name is she's pregnant with twins, and she comes into this hospital, and her doctor, he had a patient a few months before she came in who had cancer, and she was a fan of Ai's, and she passed away, and so she introduced him to Ai, and so he kind of became a little bit of a fan himself and kind of kept up with her, and he saw that she was going on a hiatus, and then a few days later she shows up at the hospital pregnant with twins. Ai and the doctor become somewhat close, not like creepy close, but they become friends, and she wants him to be the one to deliver her children, so he agrees to do that. The time comes, she goes into labor, calls the doctor's on his way back to the hospital, and I won't say what happens, but the doctor gets into a bit of an accident, passes away. The doctor, he's conscious of what's going on, and then all of a sudden he realizes that he has been reincarnated as Ai's son, Aquamarine. I think they're about 6 months old when he spawns in or whatever, becomes aware of what's going on, and so he and his sister, who is actually the reincarnation of the girl with cancer who passed away a couple months before I came in, they realize the situation. They're both kind of ecstatic to be born as the idol's children. It's kept secret from the public, so the public has no knowledge that they are her kids. It'd ruin her reputation that she's 16 and had twins. The first episode is just them growing up, I guess. And around the time that they're 3 to 4, Ai is doing a TV show, and Aqua gets seen by this director who recognizes the fact that he's very mature for a 3-year-old. So the director asks if he'll do a movie, and so Aqua agrees, and he goes to play like this creepy little kid who is just way too smart for a 3-year-old, and he meets this girl, Arima, who is also a child actor. She's also about 3 years old, and she's very jealous of how good of an actor he is on his first ever movie. Like, she's been acting since she was in diapers. Like her whole thing is that she was a child. She was a very popular child actor and actress, and so she's kind of jealous that Aqua just comes in and just completely blows her out of the water, and she's actually upset that he did really good. This first episode, they grow up. They're about. So then the end of the first episode, they're starting high school. So then the rest of the series, his sister Ruby, she wants to become an idol like their mother. So about 10 years later, they're starting high school, and I is no longer an idol, and Ruby wants to become an idol. So she starts applying to all these agencies to see if somebody will pick her up. Nobody does. Aqua really didn't want her to become an idol, so he kind of might have had a little bit of influence as to why she wasn't getting picked up. Anyways, it comes down to it that the agency that I was a part of, they weren't doing idols anymore. They were doing like YouTubers and streamers and actors and stuff. So the president of I think it's Strawberry Productions. So the president, she decides, you know what, we'll do another idol group if you can find the people to do it. So they sign Ruby on. She's officially on her way to become an idol, and Aqua kind of has a little bit of a change of heart. In high school, he runs into Arima, who she has also grown up. She's in high school now, and he kind of convinced. She has a massive crush on Aqua. She went from not like hating him, but being very jealous of him, to just madly in love with him. So he convinces her to be an idol with his sister. So she joins the group, and Aqua, they don't know who their father is, so Aqua wants to find out who his father is. Arima is currently doing a show. Before he asks her to join the group with his sister, she's doing the show, and the show's not being received very well. She convinces Aqua to play the scary villain at the end of the series, at the end of the season. And so he does. He meets with the director. He realizes that the director might be able to help him figure out who his father is. So without explicitly stating that he is the child of I, he just plays it off like he's a massive fan, wants to know more about her, wants to know about the guys that she's dated in the past and stuff, and he says that he can help him if he does a reality TV show. Arima joins the group with Ruby, and there's like two stories going on. So you have the story of Ruby setting up the idol group, and then you have the story of Aqua going through the entertainment business, trying to figure out who his father is. But he does this reality TV show. While he's on the reality TV show, for the show, he starts dating this girl named Akane, and Akane develops somewhat of feelings for Aqua, and that kind of Arima and Akane kind of butt heads a little bit because they're both madly in love with Aqua. Well, I would say Arima's more in love with Aqua than Akane is, but she definitely has some feelings, so they butt heads a little bit. There's this other girl that he convinces to join their idol group, his sister's idol group, Memcho, and she's a YouTuber, and so she kind of uses her influence a little bit to help the group grow. So they go through, so Aqua's talking with the director and stuff, and he also is helping his sister with the idol group, which is funny because in the beginning he didn't want her to be a part of the group, but anyways, he's balancing all this stuff all at once. The rest of the first season is Ruby, Memcho, and Arima forming the group, practicing being idols, learning how to dance, learning how to sing, doing all that stuff, and getting the group going. And then the final episode is their debut performance, and Aqua takes another job, which is another step forward to finding out who his father is. And so that ends out with him accepting the job. It turns out that Akane and Arima are also acting in this. I think it's a show. They're acting in this show too, so they kind of have a little bit of another argument at the end, and that's where. So it ends with people loving their idol group, loving their performances. Thanks to Memcho being a YouTuber, she kind of gives the influence to get them fans pretty quickly off the bat, and it all works out in the end for the idol group, and it leaves off on a little bit of a cliffhanger for season 2, which is probably where we'll find out who their father is and what Aqua wants to do with that information. A lot of information that I had just given might seem pretty worthless, and I left out a lot of very important story beats as to not spoil the very important parts. So the anime itself is a lot better than my explanation. It'll probably get cut down. I've been rambling for almost 15 minutes. God knows how much I'm actually going to use. But we're coming to the main question. So is Oshi no Ko worth the hype? I believe it is. My summary was pretty vague and probably not that interesting, but I left out a ton of things happen. There's the initial catalyst, which is important to any story, and I didn't say what that was, but it is in the first episode. The first episode is free on High Dive. If you don't have High Dive, you can still watch the first episode, decide whether or not you can do their 7-day free trial, watch the rest of the show, cancel your subscription, then boom, you just watch the whole show for free. My summary of it did not do it justice, and I don't even think if I would give those important story beats that it would even do it justice. The story is very beautiful. It's very emotional. The characters are all super great. They're super deep backstories. Every character is developed very well. There's even some that are introduced halfway through, and they're able to really, it works really well. Like sometimes with shows, they introduce a character halfway through the first season and they're just a shallow character that is used for comedic relief, but every character in Oshi no Ko has a very deep backstory that you're taught without it being like flashbacks and stuff. You kind of figure it out on your own. And some anime that I've watched, there'll be a new character introduced and the whole episode is just their backstory. Like anybody cares, but with this one, I think the longest one was like 5 minutes, and they did it really well, and I really enjoyed it. So like I said, the first episode is free on High Dive. I highly recommend checking it out since it's free. The first episode is an hour and a half long. It's basically like a movie. It's really, I watched it and I felt like it was just a regular 20-minute episode, but I didn't even realize it was an hour and a half till it was over, and I looked at the clock and I was like, that wasn't 20 minutes, and then I looked at the thing, I was like, holy crap, it's been an hour and a half. So it kept me engaged. Sometimes when I watch anime, 20 minutes feels like an hour and a half with some of them, but with this one, an hour and a half didn't even feel like 20 minutes. It was so good. I cried several times. I'm a baby though. I've cried for 4 anime now, but it was very good. It had me very hooked from the first episode, which like even with Full Metal Alchemist, after watching the first episode, if I would have dropped it, I probably wouldn't have even cared to pick it back up. But I with this one, I watched the first episode and I immediately needed more, and that's when I knew that I was happy that I waited until they were all out, so I didn't have to wait a whole week. And when season 2 drops, it's gonna hurt, but I'm probably gonna do the same thing. I will probably end up waiting until all of season 2 is out and then watching it. But all the episodes are currently streaming now. if you want to watch it. If you haven't watched any episodes yet and you want to watch it, they're all out. It's not done. Season 2 has been officially announced, but like I said before, the first episode is free on High Dive, so you can watch that episode, see if you like it, and then you can break the system by applying for the 7-day free trial, watching the rest of it, and then canceling your subscription so you don't get charged anything to watch it. I'm keeping High Dive specifically for when Season 2 comes out, plus there's some other anime that I want to check out that's not on Crunchyroll that is on High Dive, but I'm going to be adding this one to my tier list. If you haven't seen my tier list video, please check that out. It'll a little thing, I don't know which side it pops up on, either here or oh my god, here, or link in the description if you want to check that out. I would recommend watching that first before you watch this, because I'm about to spoil my whole tier list video, but it is what it is. If you don't want to watch me talk about 11 different anime and then put them on a tier list for a half an hour, I don't blame you. Oshi no Ko, I really believe that it lives up to the hype, and like I said before, the rating did drop a little bit, but I don't even think it dropped a full point. Oshi no Ko, I gotta put it in Masterpiece, man. It was so good. It kept me engaged the entire time. There wasn't even like a fill. There's episode 7 and then episode 7.5, which is just a recap episode, which it's not even an official episode. That was the only time I skipped it, because I didn't care about recap episode because I just watched all that. But the actual episodes themselves, it kept me engaged the entire time. There wasn't once that I felt bored or something. It was just the whole way through. I loved it. I loved the characters. I loved the story. I'm super excited for Season 2. I'm more excited for Oshi no Ko Season 2 than I am for Chainsaw Man Season 2. So I'm really sad that I'm gonna have to wait I mean, I could watch it as they release, but I just know that it's just gonna bug me all week to figure out what happens next, and I hate that. So I'm probably gonna end up waiting until they're all out and then watching it all in one sitting like I did with this. But yeah, it's 100% worth the hype, and I totally recommend it. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and comment something. Just comment how your day was. How was your day today? Hope it was good. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.